Good morning, children. Today, let us study an essay, a new lesson, The Secret of Work by Swami Vivekananda. You know who Swami Vivekananda is. He is a symbol of India's cultural heritage. He was, named as Narendranath in his childhood. Later on, he met Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. It was a turning point in his life, and he became a Swami. Narendranath was his name. Swamis would say in their Purvastram. Purvastram means previous life. So when a man becomes a Swami, he will abandon all his previous life, relations, all his connections, and he elevates himself to a new life of a Swami. Okay. So you know it. I don't need to explain those things. So he was from 1863 to 1902. Swami Vivekananda. And we remember Vivekananda going to America to participate in the Congress of Religions. You see, Parliament of World Religions. In order to participate in the Parliament of World Religions, he went there representing India. Okay. The story goes on to say that at first he was not given a chance to speak because delegates from all important famous nations, powerful nations participating, our Swami did not get a chance to speak. And he prayed to Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and he was given 5 minutes to talk. The story goes on to say, he came and addressed the people there. See, sisters and brothers of America. In America or in any developed nation, they call each other as ladies and gentlemen. Instead, our Swami, people of America, he called them sisters and brothers of America. They heard it for the first time that they are all sisters and brothers and sisters. It was something new for them. They began clapping and clapping and clapping. He lost almost the entire time that he was given to him 5 minutes. And the organizers were so impressed that he was given chances whenever he wants to speak. The following 3 days he spoke, several times. And his speeches became world famous. Even now many people read them and understand the message India has to convey to the Western world, to the entire world itself. So he became so famous. Returning to India, he became so famous. And he began traveling all over India, then all over the world, spreading the message of India, Indian culture. Asha Bharat Samskara. Okay. So that is Swami Vivekananda. I don't need to introduce him, you know. So, here we are going to study an essay, okay, about work and the secret of work. Okay. In this essay, see, he explains the things that guides a man's character. In this essay, Vivekananda explains the things that guides a man's character. Remember this line? He explains the things that guides, or what all are things which will guide a man's character. Okay, that is what he explains in this lesson or in this essay. Let us move on to the essay directly. Yes, take it, look into the textbook, all of you. The miseries of the world cannot be cured. He begins the essay by telling that the miseries of the world cannot be cured. Misery means suffering. Cure means healed. The misery, the suffering of the world cannot be cured, cannot be healed by physical help only. By physical help, you cannot cure the sorrows and sufferings of the people. The miseries cannot be cured by physical help only. You understand physical and spiritual. The Swamis, they always remain in a spiritual realm or spiritual world. Things of the mind, of the or spirit, Atma. Okay. So the miseries of the world cannot be cured or healed by physical or material help only. Giving some money, giving some food or something like that, or helping him in physically or materially. Material things, things of the world, physical world. So by that we cannot cure the miseries of the world. Okay, until man's nature changes, these physical needs will always arise. Until man's nature changes, these physical needs will always arise. Yes. Until man's nature changes. The solution is change the nature of man. Until man's nature changes, these physical needs will always arise. Think of what is being told. The miseries of the world cannot be cured, cannot be healed by physical help. Helping a man physically cannot cure his miseries, his sorrows and sufferings. Until man's nature changes, these needs will always arise and miseries will always be felt. He will always feel the miseries, and no amount of physical help will cure them completely. No amount of physical help can cure it completely. Some solace, some comfort, some consolation can be given, but it cannot be cured completely by physical help alone. That is what he says, in the beginning of the essay. What is that? What is that? The miseries of a man or miseries of mankind cannot be cured by physical help only. Until man's nature changes, these needs will always arise and his miseries cannot be cured. Let us continue. The only solution to this problem is to make mankind pure. Pure. Okay. So, once I read the line, the only solution to this problem, the only solution is to make mankind pure. What is it? Purity? You would say pure gold. 916. Even 916 is a 22 carat. The real gold is 24 carat, by which we cannot make ornaments. 24 karat gold, you add some copper to it, 22 karat, that is, gold ornaments, 916. But ornaments can be made, with less quality also. Even 20 or 18 or even less than that. That's what some jewelry will, some jewelry shop will offer, that our gold is of 916, nothing is there. That means pure one. More copper not added. Okay now? Pure. Pure means no blemish to it. That's purity. See? Pure. That's what? Pure gold. So like 24 karat gold or something like that. See, once I receive that, the only solution to this problem is to make mankind or a man, to make him pure. But I understand that the Swamis will always say purity in the spiritual sense. Our mind should be made pure. Then only the miseries can be cured. Not by physical help, not by material help, only by making our mind pure. Yes, in what way we are going to see? That's what I am not explaining so much. Ignorance is the mother of all evil. Ignorance. Lack of knowledge. Okay? Not able to know things in a proper way. So, lack of knowledge. Ignorance is the mother of all evil. See, basically the problem with India is illiteracy and ignorance. We have, gone a long way to solve the problem of illiteracy. Literate means what? Be able to read and write. Literate means be able to read and write. That we have achieved to a certain level, to some extent, not completely. But ignorance is still there in the mind of man. See, all kinds of ignorance. That means blind beliefs, superstitions, all out of ignorance. Don't know the exact thing. Real knowledge not there. That's why. So ignorance is the mother of all evil. All evils. Yes. And all the misery we see. The basic reason for all the miseries that we see today is because of ignorance. The real reason behind all the miseries of mankind is ignorance. Okay. Let men have light and let them be pure. Light of knowledge. Light of knowledge, that's what. See, and let them be pure and spiritually strong. The Swamis always think in a spiritual way. Let them be strong spiritually. Spiritually strong. Okay, and educated. Yes, education will remove illiteracy and ignorance from the mind of man. Let them be educated. So this education will remove from their mind illiteracy as well as ignorance. Yes, then alone will misery cease in the world. Cease means stop. Only then, what's that? Said, miseries of the world will cease or stop or will be over. Not before. Okay, not before that. So only by getting education, this ignorance can be removed. Yes. We may convert every house in the country into a charity asylum. We may change, see, every house in the country into a charity asylum. Asylum is in a way shelter, where people are given shelter. Charity, showing kindness. Charity. Okay. Charity asylum. See, people are given free food, accommodation, etc., etc. See, charity asylum. We may fill the land with the hospitals. We can fill the land with the hospitals. But the misery of man will still continue. Yes, the misery of man will still continue to exist until man's character changes. That's what. All the miseries will continue until man's character changes. That's the key word for changing the world. Change the miseries of the world is a change man's character. That's the first paragraph in a way introduction to the essay. Yes, until man's character is changed, these miseries can never be cured. The only solution to solve, to heal the miseries of mankind is to change the character. Make mankind pure. Make mankind pure by changing the character of man. Until then, the miseries cannot be solved. Until then, the miseries cannot be solved. Once go through whatever or think whatever I said, the miseries of the world cannot be cured by physical help only. Yes. So, these miseries will always continue as long as mankind is made pure. The only solution is to make man's, until man's character changes, these miseries will always arise. So, Swami Vivekananda says that the miseries can be cured only by changing the character of man. Okay, na? Is it clear to you? I hope it is clear to you. So, Swami Vivekananda says that the miseries of the world cannot be cured until man's character changes. Okay, let us continue. We read in Bhagavad Gita again and again that we must all work incessantly. Next paragraph. We read in Bhagavad Gita. You know Gita. Have you got the habit of reading it at home? Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, Bhagavad Gita. Actually, when this advice was given by Sri Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, in Mahabharata we see Pandavas and Kauravas fighting, battle of Kurukshetra. When Arjuna came to battlefield, Krishna being the charioteer, he saw all his relatives as enemies. Then Arjuna said, I don't want kingship by killing my own people. Then Krishna advised him, what? Karmanye vadigarasya ma phaleshu kadajana. What does it mean? It means that you have to do your duty. Don't think about the result. That is a sum and substance, some total of Gita Upadesh, or this entire book. See, you have to do your duty. Don't think about the result at all. Whoever comes in front of you in the battlefield is your enemy. Kshatriya Sarma, Shatru Samhara. Do it. Don't think about what result it may provide you. It's applicable to everyone. We are doing our duties and we are supposed to do our duties. Don't think about the result at all. It is God given. God will give you. If you are doing well, the result will come. Don't worry about that. For students also. After studying very well and appearing for examination and writing well, you can be happy. Don't worry about what is going to come. Let the result come. I have done my duties well. I have performed well. That's my duty. Yes. So, let us continue. I remember the line I said, Karmanye vasigarasya ma phaleshu kadajana, which means do your duty, don't think or worry about the results. We read in Bhagavad Gita again and again that we must all work incessantly, means continuously. Yes, Bhagavad Gita, we are asked to work continuously, incessantly. All work is by nature composed of good and evil. whatever work we do, all work is composed of good as well as evil. Any work that we do, it will have some amount of good, some amount of evil also. We cannot do any work which will not do some good to somewhere. Okay, whatever work we do will have some good effects. There cannot be any work which will not cause some harm somewhere. Some good, some evil, some harm somewhere. Any work that we do will have some good as well as some evil. Every work must necessarily be a mixture of good and evil. Same thing. Any work, every work is a mixture of good and evil too. Yet we are commanded to work incessantly. Though every work, you see, will have some good as well as evil, we are asked to continue with our work incessantly or continuously. Good and evil will both have their results. Good and evil will have, you see, their results. Good action will entail upon us good effect. When we do something good, it will give us a good effect. And bad action, bad means bad action will give bad effect. But good and bad are both bondages of the soul. Bondage means slavery. Your soul will be enslaved. You will be made a slave of good actions as well as bad actions. If you are doing good actions, your soul will be enslaved with good activities, good effect. That means you will become good. If you are doing bad actions, this bad action will enslave you. Make you a slave of bad actions. And slowly you are going to change into a bad man with bad qualities, bad activities, etc. and etc. So good activities will make you a good man. Bad activities will make you a bad man. Why? Because all these actions will have its effect on you, on your soul. So naturally, if your actions are good, you become a good person. If your actions are bad, surely you become a bad person. The solution reached in the Gita in regard to this, cramping influence of work, a bad influence of work, is that if you do not attach ourselves to it, we should not be attached to it. Do a work or any work with not attached, neither detached. Okay now? So, we should not be attached to it. It will not hold our soul in bondage. If you are not attached to it, it will not hold our soul in bondage. So, we must be able to do any work that we do with no attachment towards it. If you are attached to it, that activity will have its influence, its effect on our soul, and slowly it will control our activities and our character. Our character is changed by the effect of the actions that we do. Our character is changed by the activities that we do. Yes, we must not be attached to any work that we do. We should not be attached to any work that we do. It is the only solution, because every work will have good effects as well as bad effects. Every work will have good as well as bad effects. So if you are attached to it, these good effects will come, bad effects also will come. The only solution is to have no attachment towards the work that we do. Yes. Otherwise, that activity will hold us in bondage. Okay now? There is a second paragraph of the essay. Yes. Second paragraph, he says, all kinds of works will have good as well as bad or evil effects. So, that will influence our soul. Yes, the only solution is to have no attachments towards the work that we do. So a man should not have attachments towards the work that we do or he does. Yes. Shall we move on? I hope it is clear to you about the work that we do. Every work that we will have its effects on our character, good as well as bad. The only solution is to have no attachments towards the work that we do. Yes. This is the one central idea in the Gita. You see, Bhagavad Gita says, what is that? Work incessantly, but be not attached to it. Work incessantly, continuously, but don't be attached to the work that we do. Whatever work we do, don't have any attachments towards it. The central idea of Gita is this. Work continuously, but don't be attached to the work that we do. Yes. Okay. Samskara can be translated very neatly by inherent tendency. Inherent, that what is in you. Inborn maybe. Not necessarily everything is inborn. See, what is samskara? We may call some people as the man will have no samskara. Some other people, yes, cultured. Okay, see, polished. So samskara. See, what does it mean? See, samskara is a impressions created in our mind by our actions. Impressions created in our mind by our actions. Okay, now some people behave very nicely. Some people behave very rudely. That is a samskara. The impressions created in our mind by our actions. See, I tell you the story of a newspaper vendor. Every day, a rude fellow would come to his shop, throw the coins for a newspaper, and speak rude and snatch a daily newspaper from the vendor and go without talking any good words. The vendor would collect the coins, smile, and give him newspaper and say thanks for buying it. See, one day, one of his friends asked, why you are behaving so nice to him when he is so rude to you? He smiled and said, why should I allow his rude behavior to dictate my behavior? If I behave in the same way as he behaves, what's the difference between him and me? Yes, that is his samskara. Okay, na? He is rude, basically rude. He behaves very rudely. He knows only that one. If that samskara, you see, this man is following, he would become just like him. Is it not so? Yes, that is samskara. The impressions created in our mind by our actions. What kind of activities we involve or we are involved. That is samskara. Okay, na? So we are doing good things, thinking good thoughts. These will create impressions in our mind. And that way we behave. Okay, na? What's the reason line? Yes. Samskara can be translated very neatly by inherent. What is in you or in a way inborn? Tendencies. See, natural tendencies. Samskara is our natural tendency or tendencies. Using the simile of a lake for the mind, take the example of a simile of a lake for the mind. Our mind can be compared to a lake or a stream. Okay. Every ripple, a small wave. Every wave that rises in the mind, like a wave in the stream, where suppose if you put a stone into it, a wave will come, or sometime it will subside. Okay, every wave that rises in the mind, when it subsides, when it goes down, does not die out entirely. It does not die out entirely or completely, but leaves a mark, and every action that we do leaves a mark and a future possibility of that wave coming out again. It leaves a future possibility of that wave coming back again. Every activities that we do will have its effect in our mind, in our character. Mind can be compared, compared to a lake. In the lake, every ripple, every wave that comes, even if it subsides, it will have its effect on our mind. It will not die out completely. Yes, this mark will with the mark, with the possibility of a wave reappearing. Yes, the wave might reappear again, is what is called samskara. This mark, of a wave coming up again can be explained as our samskara. That means the actions that we do will come back again. There is a possibility of the actions coming back to us again. That means whatever activities we do will have its effect on us. It will come back again and it will mold and develop our character, our tendencies. That is called our samskara. Yes, you see, this mark with the possibility of the wave reappearing, that will reappear again. It is called samskara. That is called samskara. Yes, every work that we do, every movement of the body, every activity, every movement, every thought that we think, leaves such an impression of the mind stuff. It will leave such an impression in our mind. And when such impressions are not obvious in the surface, they are sufficiently strong. Even if impressions are not seen on the surface, they are strong enough to work beneath the surface subconsciously. It will work beneath the surface subconsciously. Our mind has 3 stages: conscious, subconscious and unconscious. Yes. So at present our mind is working in a conscious stage. Suppose if you go to sleep, still your mind is working. Subconscious mind. Generally what you dream is a result of what you have thought, what you have done during the day. Really, you can connect it. Some connection will be there because your mind is working. That is some, unconscious. Okay, you become unconscious. Your mind is not working, body not working. When you become body working maybe. Okay, physical organs going on, but mind is unconscious. Of course, body working. Okay, so conscious, subconscious and unconscious. 3 stages are there. Say it once again. Okay. So, they are sufficiently strong to work beneath the surface. Subconsciously, these activities will work in our subconscious mind. Yes. What we are, you see, every moment is determined by the sum total of these impressions. What we are is determined by the sum total of these impressions created in our mind by your activities. The impressions created in our mind by your actions and activities. What I am just at this moment is the effect of the sum total of all the impressions of my past life. What I am today. It's a sum total of what I was in my past life. Yes, in another poem we saw, and I told you that we are sum total of what we were yesterday. I told you what said yesterday plus today is equal to tomorrow. The builders, you remember that? Yes. Yesterday plus today is equal to tomorrow. What we were yesterday, what we are today, we will be tomorrow. Sum total of what we were yesterday, what we are today. Sum total of what we are today, we are going to become tomorrow. That's what. So whatever actions we do will have its effect, you see, on us. That decides our character. And our actions are molded, shaped accordingly. Yes. Sum total of all the impressions of my past life make me my present day man. This is really what is meant by character. Our character is determined by the actions that we do. Our character determined by the actions that we do. We did yesterday, we do today, we are going to do tomorrow also. Take the example in the class itself that you are going to see. So for example, in a class there will be different kinds of students. See, some students, their aim would be to get first rank or second rank. They would sit together and discuss how can we get more knowledge than what is being taught in the class. Which library to go, which books to read. Library you have to go. A storehouse of knowledge. Which books to refer. How to get guidance from the teachers. How to get extra knowledge. What extra activity should be done to improve your knowledge. That would be their discussion even during the interval or leisure time. Think of another group of students. They come to school because of the compulsion from the parents. They don't want to come to the school because here study is too much, no leisure time, no other activities, extracurricular, nothing is there, only study. They don't like to come. But parents are forcing them to come. What do they discuss in the class? What will they discuss? They would discuss how to evade the class, how to go for cinema after the class, how to cheat the teacher, how to copy down, where can it be hidden during the examination. Isn't it so? Finding new methods of deceit, how to steal money from father's pocket without his knowledge. These are the subjects that they would discuss. What happens? See, in their subconscious mind also, these thoughts, these discussion, these words will continue. Their mind would be, engaged in that kind of thoughts even when they sleep. As a result, see, what you think only, what you speak only, what you do. Okay, na? His thoughts would go like that. The other man's thought would go the bad way. As a result of that, those who are discussing, thinking and doing good activities, they would become good and they would try to get better marks, 95%, 98%, even 100. Other one would be discussing, thinking, planning things, how to evade class, how to cheat teachers, how to copy down. They would be masters of that trade, not getting good marks. That is what really happens in our life also. So whatever thoughts that we think, whatever words that we speak will have its effect on our mind, and that will decide our character. That is samskara. That will decide our character. Really, let us continue. Okay, this is really what is meant by character. Each man's character is determined by the sum total of these impressions. A man's character is determined by the sum total of these impressions, and they will influence his thought. That's what I just said. They will influence his thought and work without his being conscious of the fact. Even without his knowledge, it will be going on working, because his mind is filled with this kind of thoughts. Maybe good, maybe bad. If good, he becomes good. He will have good character. Okay. In fact, these bad impressions are always working and their resultant must be evil. If his thoughts are bad, the result would be evil. And that man will be a bad man. If his thoughts are bad, his words would be bad, his deeds would be bad, he would become a bad man. He cannot help it. He cannot help it. Naturally, the man becomes bad. Because impressions created in our mind is bad. So naturally, automatically, he becomes a bad person with bad character. The sum total of these impressions in him will create the strong motive power for doing bad actions. The sum total of all the activities, okay, will create, motivate him. Okay, create the strong motive power for doing bad actions. He will be like a machine in the hands of these impressions. The man would be like a machine in the hands of these impressions created in his mind by his thoughts, by his words, by his activities. And they will force him to do evil. As a result of that, these impressions will force him to do evil. Similarly, if a man thinks good thoughts, and does good works, if he does good works, thoughts, words and deeds, what do you think, what do you speak, what do you speak, what do you do? Okay, the sum total of his impressions will be good. He thinks good things, good thoughts, he speaks good things, good thoughts, his activities also will be good. And they in a similar manner will force him to do good, even in spite of himself. Even if he does not want to do that, these impressions will force him to do good things. When a man has done so much good work, he always does good things. A man who does good things, so on the way he helps other people, because he always does good things. And good work and thought, so many good thoughts. A man who has thought so many good thoughts, there is an irresistible tendency in him. Irresistible, he cannot be resisted. You see, to do good things in spite of himself. Even if he wants to do bad things, he cannot do it, because the impressions are so strong that it would make him do good things in spite of the fact that he wants to do bad things. Even if he wants to do bad things, he cannot do it. There will be irresistible tendency to do good things. Yes. And even if he wishes to do evil, his mind, as a sum total of these tendencies, will not allow him to do so. His mind will not allow him to do, bad things. He can do only good things. Okay. Yes. And the tendencies will turn back. So his tendencies will not allow him to do the other way. When such is the case, a man's good character is said to be established. In this way, a man's good character is established. Study it not for sake of examination, but for yourself. In this way, a man's good character is established. If a man's thoughts are good, his words would be good, his deeds would be good, and he will create many tendencies in him, and that would compel him to do good things. So he cannot resist it. There will be irresistible tendency to do good things. So in this way, a man's good character is said to be established. So we see what's that? How a man's good character is established. Yes. Once again read all these ideas. We will meet in the next video. Thank you.